Hello again, telecom people. So what I'm going to show you today is how to terminate a Cat5e cable on a Cat5e jack. And I know it's the most basic of operations, but I do see it done incorrectly many times. So let's just run through it. So what you'll do first is take your technician scissors and you're going to score the cable probably about 2 inches back from the end. Just a light score with the blade. That should snap and should be able to pull that off pretty easily. Then inside you have this string, which we're going to use to strip the jacket back a little further, just to make sure when you scored here that you didn't nick any of the conductors. So hold back on the string, hold back on the conductors, and just pull back about another 2 inches. Okay, then at this point you can cut the string and get rid of it. Okay, peel back the jacket, cut that and get rid of it. Just make sure you don't nick the conductors. Okay, and you have your 4 colors: blue, orange, green, brown. So what you do next is grab your jack, and you'll see the jack's color coded with A and B, an A and B pin out. 98% of the time you're going to see a B pin out. It depends on the customer's existing network, but most likely it's going to be a B. So in this case, it's pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, in that slot, you would put your white brown, you'd put your solid brown, then your solid green, then your solid blue. Here you would put your solid orange, your white green, and your white blue. Okay, so your orange and brown are on the inside. So let's get those two out of the way first. So bend back your blue and green. Now you'll take your brown, and you kind of want the jacket of the cable to butt up against the end of the jack so you get a nice tight fit. Okay, so you'll take your brown pair, let's say first, and kind of size it up here. And what you'll do is just untwist a little bit so you have enough room to drop these down. And then once you get these separated over the right terminals, just push down on them a little bit so they kind of hold in place. Alright, then you want to do the same thing for the orange on this side. So you separate the two and then just push them down so you have a nice fit. Okay, so those two are in place. Now your blue and your green, you're going to have to untwist a little bit. So what I like to do is cut them a little bit shorter. And you're going to do your green first. So untwist that a little bit. And take your white green. Push that down. Take your solid green. Push that down. Your blue is next. Same thing, put your white blue to this side. And push down, and then your solid blue to the other side, push down, and now all your cables are seated correctly. I always double check just to make sure. So you have your solid blue, your solid green, your solid brown, and your white brown. On this side you have your solid orange, white green, and white brown. So everything's in the correct spot. Now you're ready to punch the cable down. So grab your punch tool, and you should have the 110 blade ready to go for this. Okay, which is that one. Now that sharp side of the blade you want to the outside of the jack. Okay, because that's going to cut your cable as well as seat it when you press down on it. So you want to hold your jack firmly because it will slip and you could actually send the punch tool through your finger, which I've done a couple of times. So get your tool over each conductor one at a time and push down firmly. It'll punch and cut. I'm going to do 4 times on one side and flip it around, and it's going to be 4 times on the other side. Remember, make sure you hold the jack in place because it will slip. Okay, so that's it. So you terminated your 8 conductors. You have a nice clean cut on each side, and You've maintained your twist right up to the pins, which you want to do for your speed. And the last step is to take your cover and just snap it in place. That'll make sure none of the conductors pop out while you're putting the jack into the faceplate and the faceplate into the wall. So that's how you terminate a Cat 5e cable, and it's ready for the faceplate.